This model started with over 4 million triangles. After a few hours of retopology, it's down to 40k. Here's how I made this model ready for VRChat and streaming. Usually, I make everything from scratch, from the sculpt to the setup, but this time, someone messaged me with a finished Highpolysculpt. They wanted it to be cleaned up and ready for VRChat and VTubing use. Their message was basically, "Hello, I heard you got commissions open. Do you think you can make this usable in VRChat and VTubing too?" And I was like, yeah, I can do that. It wasn't a commission type I'd done before, or typically do, but I wanted to try it. So I sent the reply, got paid, and then started working. They wanted something optimized for both VRChat and VTubing, and honestly, I was excited to take it on. Starting with the retopology. I need to take these 4 million and make them not 4 million, while keeping the same or at least similar shapes and vibes. I always start with the head, since it's the most important part due to how visible it is, especially if you're going to stream or create content with it. Creating the retopology for the head is one of the easier parts, but there are a couple of loops you need to be considerate of. Around the eyes and the mouth, they need to have good structure. That way the mesh deforms nicely and can make good expressions. That's the reason I start by making a few nice loops around the eyes and then move on to the mouth. Working on the body, you have a few more places to be mindful of: the elbows, knees, hips, and shoulders. These places need good topology if you plan on moving around smoothly in VRChat or taking pictures in fun poses. I know that it can feel difficult if you're new to retopology, but I got a little trick. Use references. For example, this is a reference image of what a good knee should look like. I use it very often, and it's something I found while looking at retopology on Pinterest. I use a similar process on the elbows as well. A lot of good retopology images can be found on there, so use that to your advantage too. In the end, it isn't super strict on how it looks. As long as it deforms nicely, you've done your job right. Now that the retopology is done, the next step is rigging. Now, rigging isn't actually as boring or as difficult as it seems. It's actually quite easy once you get the hang of things. There are even tools to make it easier, but I like to make my own skeleton. Using tools such as Blender's own Rigify or just adding a whole skeleton works too, but personally, I think it's more work to make a complete armature fit a model by moving around finished pieces. Quickly brushing over weight painting. In my opinion, automatic weights works just fine with some tweaks. I did end up making some tweaks after uploading it and testing it out in VRChat, but for now it looks nice and gets the job done. Out of all things, excluding testing the model of course, texturing is one of the most fun things to do. It's also rewarding, seeing your work really come to life with some color. When I begin, I start with laying down the base colors of the model and then add little details such as shading or highlights. In case you're wondering, I use Substance Painter 2020 that I purchased on Steam. No subscriptions or updates, since I hate both of those. I'm not going to learn new things every update. I like my old stuff that has always worked. Texturing is very fun, but if I had to pick a favorite, it would be painting the eyes. Painting the eyes adds a nice little flair. Even if the eyes are all black, I still like to add some soft gray to make them more interesting. The next step, and almost the last one, is to make the expressions. The blinking and mouth movements, also known as visamis. There are a super handy add-on for Blender called Cats. Cats help you create the mouth shapes, so you just need to create 3 and not 16. Just the A, O, and Ch. Then Cats do the rest. To make the visamis creation easier, I use a handy little cheat sheet for all the mouth shapes. It's actually for Light2D, and what Light2D is a program that you can use for creating 2D models for VTubing. For the expressions, I like to use references for anime or even manga. I think they're super exaggerated and fun. For example, Demon Slayer has a bunch of lively ones you could use as a reference. When making furry models, or models with animal ears in general, I like to move the ears with the expressions. I think that makes the expression less stiff and more fun. It adds a little spice too. Lastly, I'm just testing out the model in VRChat and Warudo. VRChat, I'm sure you know what that is. And Waterdo is kind of like VRChat, but a 3D VTubing program for free on Steam. There I like to make sure it bends and moves the way I want it. I always put down a ton of effort to make sure it moves nicely. And if you want some advice, study references. Not just finished models, but read topology, body parts, or any area you're not confident in. Getting inspiration on Pinterest, ArtStation, or even just scrolling on Twitter can help a lot. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, I'm sure you'll find the full showcase video of this model to your liking too.